Games have always been about challenges, and they can go from very easy to downright unfair, and it's up to the players to look inwards and get good. Push the game to its limits and to its simplest form. No matter what kind of RNG bullcrap the game throws at you, it is you the player. Given all the resources the game hands you, should make the best of it. And with a game like Apeiron, which is an amalgamation of Diablo and teamfight tactics mixed with trading card games, that alone is bonkers. But it works. Apeiron is a game that lets you play and wield the power of a god, lead your people to battle, shape the journey through tasks and events, collect powerful artifacts that can boost your battle prowess, or cripple it. The choice is yours. Season 2 introduces new cards for every class, the IV system, new card art, events and encounters, 2 new classes, and more importantly, artifacts. Opening up more ways to deal with enemies, create playstyles, theorycraft, and also loads of replayability. The moment you pick your character, you're thrown into a cinematic art piece with animated hieroglyphs. 1 second you're into the game, boom, you're past the tutorial, then boom, they hit you with this crazy cutscene with the guy from the opening cutscene. But then he gets away. And now you're determined to go through every dungeon to find this guy, to finally end it all. After grinding through the ocean of boots and finally making it to the final stage, you get to fight him once again. An enraged second phase where he gets faster, stronger, and can even heal himself by summoning a boot priest. Fuck. There is nothing more satisfying than dealing the final blow, and you get this cutscene. You see our big boy down on the ground, evaporate into dark smoke, and into the room that looks kinda like that one scene from Thor Love and Thunder. And then you meet this guy, with normal fingers, like that guy in Thor Love and Thunder. So this is the guy, the next big bad, making you the player just want even more. Great, now you have to do it 2, 3, 4, unlimited 69 times because it's an endless dungeon. You get the same cutscenes, but this time there's a new boss that's way more annoying than the first boss because he jumps around the map, but at least there's no more boot priests. And once you hit that goal of 10 cycles of doing the same thing over and over and over again, I feel fulfilled. But at what cost? My sanity? Sure, but that's the game, and I love it. But now let's talk about why I love Season 1's battle demo more than Season 2. And mind you, I spent 70 hours on Season 1 and almost 100 hours on Season 2 across different accounts. So yeah, hey, listen. Season 1's battle demo had one difficulty, and you only had to beat the boss once. And how are you better than every other player? Well, you gotta be faster, of course. Every dungeon and encounter was a performance that needed skillful execution, or else you've lost a second or two and in your head, it could have been better. I could have done better. So you restart and do it again, and again, and again. Resource management like your apostles and your mana had to be constantly checked, or else you wouldn't have enough to execute a combo or make it to the next room. Your starting hand could either be perfect, workable, or straight up disaster. It's those moments that it's workable and it works out amazing is where I get the most joy out of. That developed game sense where your apostles are needed in specific situations and not just hacking and slashing your way into killing them. Every class had a specific role, and to have their cards at the right time is key, and without it you just have to work with whatever's there with the mana that you have. Discarding had consequences because it made you rethink if it's worth more to even discard or just use that second-rate play. Like an actual trading card game like Magic the Gathering, every move needs to be thought about a step ahead towards the next card. Apostle placement, combos, carefully timed abilities, even how you move around is important. And I feel like all those mechanics is either limited or just straight up gone in Season 2. Cycle 1 and 2 is very reminiscent of that feeling, but come Cycle 3 onwards, it's just gone. The levels are designed in a way where it doesn't get trickier, it just becomes harder in a sense where it increases the gap between your units and the enemy unit's level, therefore increasing their HP and attack. So enemies just steamroll through your apostles without a fighting chance, which forces you to play 2 to 4 priests so that they could survive. I've never felt so disconnected from my apostles this way. They're more akin to the Sunflower in Plants vs. Zombies, only having them around so I can have more mana or maybe a meat shield to take hits for me. Not to mention the Apostles' AI is still programmed to attack the closest possible enemy, so they're barely units, they're just moving towers in a tower defense game. Controls are still a bit wonky, with the mouse still able to move the avatar, which should really just be removed, and from time to time I would dash even though I'm pressing on a direction on the keyboard and it would still dash towards the cursor, which in some cases would lead to my untimely death. Now on to artifacts. They introduced artifacts that hints on an auto attack build that looks fun, but inefficient compared to just playing casting builds since the damage output just falls off as soon as cycle 4. They introduced artifacts to have the option to either be good or evil attribute. Good attribute just gives it a boost on stats compared to the normal version, and the evil also boosts the stats, but there's a catch. It gives a debuff that's almost forgettable and doesn't really affect anything. Almost all artifacts except Fly Silk Wings is better with the evil attribute, since the consequences of using it is virtually close to nothing. So if you choose good, you're throwing.
Look what I can do.
But what does that have to do with anything?
No. He's got a point.
And since we're on the topic of artifacts, the most game-breaking mistake they've ever put into the game is the Smoke Soul Incense. That's right, this artifact shouldn't even be in the game if it claims to be a TCG, because this artifact allows you to discard for free, and its only downside is increasing the cost of every card by 1 mana. Are you kidding me? That's literally nothing when the benefit is always having the card you want. It's like being able to have Exodia in your hand every freaking time. Why not just have hotkeys or buttons for every ability instead of having to go through this deck and discard bullcrap? Not only that, it also makes you dash if you do it too fast, by the way. The joys of playing the hand you're dealt with is gone. This turned Apeiron into Diablo with extra steps. Alright, maybe I'm too hard on it. It's still a demo, but yeah. Apeiron needs to look back and see what made Season 1's battle demo so unique and challenging, and evolve from this Diablo bullet hell thing they made. The boss fights are still amazing and would forever be my favorite part. Look at my hands, man, I'm zooming. Ooh. The art style, the gameplay, the stories, the jaw-dropping cutscenes, not to mention the beautiful community that's come together for this great game, is a step in the right direction into what can be an ecosystem for gamers alike. So yeah. Okay, thanks, bye.